You sometimes wonder, why do I keep forgetting things so easily? You meet someone for the first time, the person tries to introduce himself to you, and in less than 20 minutes in the course of the conversation, you're like, sorry, what did you call your name again? You forgot it. Well, dear, it's not because you have a bad brain, it's not because you are forgetful, maybe because you are not getting some things right. Permit me to show you those things. Hi friends, I welcome you again to another exciting episode of my Super Brain series. If you're just joining in, this happens to be the second in the series, so I'd like you to see the first episode so you don't get to lose anything. Meanwhile, let me thank you all for anticipating, and I'm sure some of us have looked forward to the next episode. Sorry for the delay, but thank God I'm here and you have something beautiful to learn today. Thank you for trusting in me to taking you on a journey to unlocking that super brain of yours. Today I'm going to be teaching you an important skill that you all should learn. If there is one skill that you should learn, it is remembering people's names. I know some of us have been battling with this, it's kind of difficult, and we find it difficult to remember people's names, especially people that we are just meeting for the first time. But guys, how will you even show to people how much you care if you don't care enough to remember their names? And trust me, remembering names goes beyond just remembering the names. It's important in cementing business deals, now. It's important in building relationships, families, and what have you. So, you cannot afford to forget the next person's name that you meet. So basically, today, I'm going to be teaching you methods or practical tips on people's names. And trust me, I mean every single person that you meet from now on. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And how do you show a person that you care about their concerns, their businesses, their families, if you don't even care enough to remember their names? So I can assure you that this is a skill that is worth knowing and you will not regret. But before we get down to business, I'm going to be showing you a short clip. I have just 10 seconds to read the sentence. Just keep that in mind. We'll talk about it after that. Check this out.
Three famous.
Alright guys, welcome back from that break. So, permit me to ask, how many F's did you see in that sentence? I know a lot of you be like, I did not count it though. I do not know. I know, right? The reason why you wouldn't know is because you were not intentional about finding the F's. You only read the sentence because I asked you to. Which leads me to tip number 1. Tip number 1 says, be intentional. Yes, it's as simple as that. You want to remember people's names? You want to remember the next person's name that you meet? You have to be intentional about it. Why do you want to know the person's name? You want to make a new friend, you want to build businesses and all that. You have to be intentional. The next time you meet a new person, you have it in your mind already that I want to leave this person knowing his name. And if I have any cause to see this person again, I want to be able to remember his name. So that when next you see it, you don't want to say, what's that your name again? It's embarrassing, trust me, you don't want to do that. So with this now, I'm going to show you that sentence again and you're going to tell me how many F's you see there. Okay, so some are saying 4, 5, 6. I don't expect you to get it at once because the time was short here. But at least what I've made my point, and my point is, this time when you read the sentence, you are intentionally looking for the F in the sentence. So that's how it works, and trust me, it works. Now the next one is, it sounds so simple, but trust me, it works like magic. Say the name. It's as simple as that. You meet someone for the first time and the person says, "Hello, my name is Itunu." After the person has said his name, you should also say the name. Yes, that way you've had the name twice. First from the person's mouth, and then you saying the name, you had it again. So as simple as saying the name is, it works like magic. You can try it. When you say the name, it sticks better and it makes you to remember longer. Quickly, the next one is use the name. Exactly. I wonder what the conversation will be like if I don't get to use the person's name in the conversation. I just get to meet someone, perhaps someone referred a customer to me, and I'm trying to get along with the customer. In the course of my discussion with that customer, or in the course of my discussion in that business zero, I should use the person's name. Okay? The reason why you should use the person's name is, number one, some people, their names are quite complex. Just in case you don't get the exact pronunciation the first time the person says it, when you use the name in the course of the conversation, you get to be corrected. So the person corrects you and says, no, you don't pronounce it this way. This is how it is pronounced. So that way you are sure of what you heard. Okay? So you are not thinking it is one name, meanwhile it is another name. Okay? And that way the name sticks even better. When you use a person's name in the course of the conversation, it gives that person a sense of belonging. It shows that person that you really care about him or her. And hey, I did not ask you to abuse the name. I did not ask you to keep repeating the person's name as if you don't have any other thing to say. What I mean is, once in a while in the course of the conversation, use the name. It's not out of place. Okay? Alright, so the next one will be ask questions about the name. Yes! Okay, so I come to you, I say, my name is Itunoluwa, and like, Itunoluwa, what does that mean? Then I begin to tell you, oh, my name Itunoluwa means comfort of God. And so, comfort of God. You know, you can even start the conversation with the person's name. Don't be shy, okay? So the next time you meet a new person, don't be shy to ask questions about the person's name. You know, it helps you to get more clarification on the meaning of the person's name, why the person was given that name, and even with the person's name, you get to know where the person comes from, and all of that. You see? Okay, so that's it. That's how it works. And then on a final note, the last tip I'm going to be giving you today is end the conversation with the person's name. Shikena. So I don't expect you to just say bye-bye. No. Hello. End the conversation using the person's name. So that way you are sure that you not just know the name. Okay? So that way you have had a new name. Okay, you have been able to use the name in the course of the conversation. You probably now know better about that name, because perhaps that's the first time you're hearing that name. And then on a final note, you can be sure that you still remember the person's name at the end of your conversation. That's a sign that, wow. And so if you can remember the person's name at the end of your conversation, then you're good to go. So you see, it's that simple. So if you can apply this step to every new person that you meet henceforth, trust me, you will never forget people's names again. Okay, so it's an important skill that we should aspire to have. And I don't expect you to listen to this video and not apply what you just learned. So quickly, I'd like us to quickly have a recap of what you've learned today. So the first one I said, be intentional. Okay, so knowing people's name. Why do you want to know the person's name? Do you want to make a new friend? Whatever it is, there must be a motivation behind you knowing somebody's name. If you don't have a motivation, then I bet it won't work. So that's it. And then the second one I said was say the name. Yes, it sounded so simple, like say the name, but really it works like magic. So say the name. And then the next one I mentioned was use the name. Yes, I said use the name in the course of the conversation. Use the name. You can crack a joke. You can just play around the name. Just use the name once or twice in the course of your conversation with the person. Okay. And then the next one I mentioned was ask questions about the name. There is no crime in asking questions. Asking questions simply is for clarity, for you to be cleared on the person's name, probably on how the name is pronounced, on what the meaning of the name is, where the person is from, why the person has that name. Okay, and whatever questions, just feel free to ask questions about the name. A person's name is the sweetest thing in a person's ear. So when you use the person's name in the conversation, it makes a whole lot of sense. When you ask questions about people's name, people are always willing to answer those questions. And finally, I said end the conversation with the name. So permit me to ask, what is my name? So it's intentional. I intentionally did not write my name today. Yes, because I want to ask you, what is my name? Alright guys, so that's all we can take on today's episode. I hope that you have learned how to remember people's names, and I hope that you will apply this skill, this your new found skill, as you begin to meet with new people and begin to make more friends. And trust me, you're going to make more friends with this new skill. I'm serious. But don't worry, it's fine. You can thank me later. It's a pleasure. Alright guys, so thank you once again for watching today's episode. Watch out for another exciting episode of my Super Brain series. Bye bye.